Right, so I wanted to make a final video about the Justin Trudeau blackface thing and tie it into the idea of how the left wins in politics nowadays, why they're successful, that kind of stuff. So basically, getting right into it, I mean, everybody knows by now what happened with the Justin Trudeau blackface thing, but the reaction from people, I mean, on the left, it was very predictable. Like, they'll defend it no matter what. Like, because, like I've said before, and I'll keep saying until people understand it, is that when you're on the left, I mean, to the right, you believe this to a lesser extent, but to the left, you literally think that it's a good thing that there's different sets of rules for different people and different sets of rules for different groups. If you're on the left, you can be a racist, you can be a sexist, you can be any of these kind of things. If you're on the right and you've had a sexist thought or a racist thought, or you were joking in the locker room about something, clearly joking, not serious, well then that must mean that you actually believe all that kind of stuff. And if you're on the left and you actually do this kind of stuff, well then you're still not a racist because you were 29. You can't expect someone to be mature enough to know what's right and wrong when they're 29, right? But the Covington Catholic high school kids that are high school kids, well, you definitely need to hold them to a higher standard than you hold 29-year-old Justin Trudeau. So, I mean, there's thousands of examples of stuff like this. I'm not going to get too into it, but I mean, when you're also on the left, you also believe that, it's greedy that someone who makes six figures or seven figures wants to keep some of their money, or wants to keep more of their money. But it's definitely not greedy for the person making minimum wage to want to vote using the power of the state to take their money so they can have it for them, right? Like, again, different sets of rules for different sets of people, and that's why the left, you have to be very careful with this kind of stuff because they'll never directly say that I want different sets of rules for different people. They'll have policy positions that are obvious contradictions. And the problem is that you have to be fairly intelligent and keen to pick up on this kind of stuff. And, the public schools and the colleges and the mainstream media are all, it's a big no-no to talk about that kind of stuff. So the only way you're going to find out about it is if you literally go out of your way to find it yourself. And so now that I've explained that, the big takeaway that every right-leaning channel should have had after the Justin Trudeau blackface thing, and most of them didn't. Most of them had the idea that it was definitely wrong, but I don't think he should lose his career or have to step down or any of that kind of stuff. And not that, I mean, that's what it should be in a good society or a just society. But that can't be your opinion if you're on the right, because what you're saying, or you think that you're doing the right thing, but what the left sees is, oh, that person's a coward, we can take advantage of them. Because when you're on the left, you're willing to cheat, and when someone on the right says something like that, what they're saying is that they're not willing to cheat. So if we're going to play a game where, a football game, where one team says, we're going to play with an extra guy on the field, and the other team's like, I think that's wrong, but I'm not going to put an extra guy on the field to compensate for that. Well, of course the other team's going to keep cheating, right? Because they told you they're going to cheat, and you were perfectly fine with it, so of course they're going to keep doing it. And that's what the left does with this kind of stuff, with the blackface thing, is that if Donald Trump, I mean, perfect example, or best example you could possibly come up with, had done this, let's say, exact same situation. He did it when he was like 29 or 30. The left would go absolutely insane. They would demand impeachment. The House would definitely impeach him. He probably wouldn't get, I would bet money he wouldn't get reelected in 2020. All this kind of stuff. He definitely would not get reelected. It would probably ruin it would definitely ruin his political career. It would probably ruin part or at least some of his business career. And everyone would consider that perfectly fine on the left. But when it comes to Justin Trudeau, you don't have that. And that's the thing, is that if you, like, people on the right constantly, you hear them talking about, I don't know how people on the left, believe what they believe. They think they're crazy, but they're not crazy, because they, like I say, they're willing to cheat to get their way. And the problem is people on the right let them off for when it comes to examples like these. If you're doing anything less than holding Justin Trudeau to the same standard that they would hold Trump or even Scheer, in that they should step down, they should lose their career, they should lose pretty much everything. Well, then you're just letting the other side cheat. And why the left is so relevant is because they cheat and the right lets them cheat. It's, I mean, it's a pretty brilliant strategy, but it's terribly immoral and unethical. But that's what they're going to do, and that's what they're going to keep doing. So basically, to sum it all up, is that if you're on the right, your take from this should be that Justin Trudeau should step down. He should lose his political career. He probably should. I mean, if you want to go full lefty, he should basically never get a job again in his life, or at least struggle to. Not that he doesn't have enough money to retire if he wanted, but that's basically what your opinion should be. And like I said, anything less than that, the left is going to take as that's a weak person. We can take advantage of them. So that's kind of the big takeaway that it should have been, but people aren't taking it that way, and it disappoints me. But again, I think that if this isn't enough to eliminate Trudeau's chances of being reelected, then I don't know what is. So yeah, I guess I'll just leave it there. So if you like the video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.